Hello everyone, and welcome to my UBC Season 4 team analysis. So, let's jump right into things, shall we? The very first Pokemon that I drafted was Golisopod. Now, if you saw my tournament entry, I know how to use this Pokemon. Giving a quick look over its stats: very good HP, very good attack, very good defense, reasonable special defense, not a special attacker, and very slow. However, this thing has some insane priority moves. You put an Assault Vest on this thing or a Band on this thing is going to survive or kill. First impression, brilliant. Aqua Jet, brilliant. Has access to setup like Swords Dance. Has access to Spikes, Shadow Claw. This thing is a monster. And we will go into a little bit more of explanation as to why I drafted so low first in a minute. So the very next pick, and the wheel, was Marowak, because I was 16th, and this is why I chose to draft these lower Pokemon first. I knew I wasn't getting one of those Tapus, and I knew I wasn't getting one of those Ultra Beasts. So why not bring the Lavender monster to life by getting Alolan Marowak? Now, these two cover each other very well. Alolan Marowak getting that nice Lightning Rod covers Golisopod's weakness in Electric. Golisopod is neutral to fire, whereas Marowak is resistant to it. They cover each other very well and both are very good at what they do, which is slow, heavy hitters. Now, Alolan Marowak has that item, Thick Club, guys. Doubles its attack. Now look at that, 80? That's 160. Oh wait, no, it's more because boom, you invest in it, and you're OHKOing most things. Also, pretty good physical coverage, as well as being a rock setter. Now, 32 picks happened between me getting my next Pokemon, and I knew, again, I'm not going for a Tier 1, I'm not going for a Tier 2, I'm not even going for a Tier 3 at this point. I went for 2 Tier 4s on this wheel. And can you guess what I got, guys? I got the thickest mon around. Serena, the real thick princess. Now you may be asking yourselves, why did you go for the thick princess? Well, let me introduce you to a couple little moves she gets. Number 1, Aromatherapy. Brilliant, brilliant move for Clericking. Always good to have a Cleric on your team, and we'll get to that a little bit when we look over my draft. Rapid Spin. Always need at least one spinner. And I thought, I don't want to go for one of those mainstream spinners. I want to use a new spinner. So I got Thick Lady herself. In addition, she gets some hard-hitting moves. High Jump Kick. Play Rough. She gets Acrobatics if I'm going to use some sort of weird stuff like that. She has options. U-Turn. Synthesis. This girl is thick. Looking at her stats, too, she can take a hit and she can dish it right back. Still pretty slow, though. The second was Melioda. At this point, I was realizing, dang, my team's thick, but my team also hits really hard on the physical side. So I needed to fix that. Get a special attacker. Sticking with my thick theme, Melioda, Serena's thick little sister. Looking at these stats, very good at special attack and taking a special hit. And looking at these moves, boom, Fairy, boom, Energy Ball, boom, Focus Blast, boom. You get good supporting moves too. Psyshock, you get Shadow Ball, you get Signal Beam, you get Thunderbolt, you get Thunder. Now, you may be wondering, well, why are you pointing out all these low accuracy moves? Well, for the UBC, you get 3 Pokemon that can have offensive Z moves, and Melioda is my number 1, the first one. And the reason why is A, Serene Grace, brilliant. B, she gets pretty good coverage, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But C, she doesn't need an item to be great. She can just pick up a good kill. I could use Charge Beam to boost that special attack. And if I use Z-Move's Charge Beam, that's just even better. Another 32 picks or 30 picks happen between me getting my next Pokemon. But I do get one. And do you want to know what it is? Well, it's Hydreigon. And you want to know why? I was looking at Hydreigon, and I was like, this thing fits my thick team. This thing relatively fast for what I have, and this thing is mixed. This thing can hit you on the physical side. This thing can hit you on the special side. This thing's probably living a Fairy type hit, even though it's ×4 weak. And this thing's just got good defenses. It's like a slightly better Guzzlord, in my opinion. And let's look at its coverage. As you can see, Dragon, Dark, Ground, Fire, Steel, Fighting, Rock, Ice, Bug. Very, very good coverage. As well, it learns U-turn, so a very good scout lead if I wanted to maybe scarf it and U-turn out. Always good to scout. The next Pokemon, I was like, well, you know what I need to do, guys? I need to continue that core. So, Florges, and obviously having to go thick once again. Looking at Florges' stats, especially thick through the roof. Girl, this girl is thick. Anyway, abilities, we don't really need to look at those, but look at that. Thick, special attacker, really what I need. I have my mixed, I have about 2 to 3 dedicated physicals, 1 dedicated special, and a mixed. I needed a little bit more special that could take some hits. And I thought, man, that flower goes with this team. So now let's look. Aromatherapy. Oh, it's one of my clerics. It can set up. But you know what else? If I want to throw an assault vest on this thing, I can. If I want this thing to have reliable recovery, I can do that too. Oh, I can also recover with Moonblast? Huh. Psychic, Synthesis. This thing is the stall master, guys, and I'm going to use it as such. We're going to get into that one just a little bit later, spoiler alert, but the next Pokemon, as you can see, well, it's Mega Aggron, baby. Now this is, again, I got 2 picks here. Mega Aggron's one of them, and I'll tell you why. I noticed, sure, I'm thick on the special side now. I got my special wall. Where's my physical wall? Mega Aggron. Now, you will see something weird here of what I do with these picks, but looking at it, hits super hard, defense super hard. Also sets up rocks. Filter, though, that's one of the main reasons. Gets some very good coverage in things like EQ, in things like Dragon Tail, in things like its special moves. Because if you look at 60 special attack is nothing to sleep on. It's worth running like a hidden power or something if it's ×4 weak to something. But either way, a very good physical defensive mon that I can pair with that other bulky Fairy Dragon Steel core. Now the second Pokemon I picked in this wheel pick, well, that was Steelix, baby. And you may be asking, why did you pick 2 Steel types? Well, obviously they're not getting brought in the same week, but I needed a secondary Steel type here to do a secondary role. Mega Aggron, yeah, it can do a couple things, but Steelix giving that electric immunity was very important. Now, I may not keep Steelix on the team. I may switch it up if I can get something good in Tier 5. Who knows? But I knew I wanted to pick up Steelix early because 200 defense and being able to use an item, well, that's just huge. And the electric immunity, again, this was huge. So we go down here, I get all the fangs, I get Iron Head, I get Protect, I get Stealth Rock. I've used Steelix before, and I'm very comfortable with it, and I don't mind having 2 Steel types on my team. It's not unreasonable. Now another 30 picks go by, guys. I'm sitting there waiting. Tragedy does strike at this point, though, because I do get one of my more important picks sniped from me. And I'll go over that when we get to it, but don't worry, guys, we are getting to it. Next Pokemon I pick up is Thundurus Therian. Main reason? Well, Volt Absorb, of course. This thing is pretty fast, hits like a special truck, but it could also be mixed, so don't sleep on that. I have my tanks at this point. I'm needing hitters. And a little bit more, you'll see where we go with that, though. Either way, this thing, great coverage, gets Flash Cannon, gets Volt Switch, gets Thunderbolt, gets Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Psychic. I could set up with Nasty Plot if I wanted. I could U-turn if I don't want a Volt Switch. I have options with this thing, so you can never sleep on what I'm going to be bringing with this. Plus, Volt Absorb gives me another electric immunity, because why not? The next Pokemon I pick here, and this is where I do get sniped, is the Hitmontop. Now, I wanted Hitmontop, and I was forced to go with Hitmonchan, because I knew I needed a fighting type, and I knew I needed a spinner. Now, Hitmontop does fit with me better, slightly just because of its stats being much better in the defenses and stuff, but Hitmontop will do. It also has a better ability, because I could Assault Vest Hitmontop, and with the Intimidate, nothing's really going to kill it, but oh well, tragedy did strike. I still have the ability to hit things with Iron Fist. Not horrible. I do get access to a lot of different punching moves, as well as Rapid Spin, so it's not my first choice. If that Hitmontop does get dropped, I will 100% switch up Hitmonchan for it. You know, just instantaneously. And then another 30 picks goes by, guy. And the last Pokemon that I choose. Well, it's Swampert. And this is the third Z-move user that I will have on my roster. Now, you may be asking, well, why Swampert? I didn't have a grass weakness. I wanted a grass weakness. It has one weakness in grass. And I wanted that. I wanted that ×4 weakness in grass, guys. This thing has good resistances. And we'll see when we get to my actual team page here why I did this. But, you know, it's not unreasonable. Good thick, slow. It can be special. It can be physical. It's got good moves. It's got good physical moves. Avalanche, Aqua Tail, Brick Break, EQ. It's got good special moves. Blizzard, Focus Blast, Ice Beam. Oh, what's that? It also gets Rock Slide and Sludge Wave as well as Rocks? Oh my gosh. As my third Z-move user, this thing is not something to sleep on either. Now, I want to move over to, well, let's go to what my team is going to look like here. And I'm just going to switch over to this, so we can just get a little bit of a better look here. And this is the team that I'm looking at right now. Golisopod, slow. Marowak, slow. Serena, not fast. Either way, base stat totals right here, guys. 77 in HP, not bad. 101 in attack, very good. 113 in defense, huge. 82 in that brilliant special attack, not something to sleep on. A good 96 in special defense, also good. My only subpar stat is speed, and I will say that I have the lowest speed in the league. I do have options, though. And I'm not going to reveal all my tricks yet, but just know that I have some tricks up my sleeve. Looking at my abilities, nothing really stands out here. I got some nice levitates. I've got a nice amount of immunities, but we'll get into that. 5 hazard setters, guys, and that is huge. 5 hazard setters, and we'll continue going down. 2 rapids, 2 removal of hazards, both being rapid spin, so I can get spin blocked pretty hard. That is an issue, and I will say that right now. I realize that is one of my weaknesses, as well as the speed. 3 clerics, always good. I have more, like they can do more than just what is listed there, but I do have 3 clerics, which some teams don't even have 1, so no toxic stall for this guy. Now let's look at my typings. Well, 35 weaknesses, with only 2 ×4 weaknesses. And none of my weaknesses have more than 3 weaknesses in any specific type. I know you may be asking, well, why is that? Well, I want to point out that only 4 teams in this league have less weaknesses than I do. And only 3 teams tie me for weaknesses. You know what that means, guys? That means I am right in that middle. Half the teams have more weaknesses than me, and a fourth of the teams have less weaknesses than me. Pretty good, in my opinion. I have no more than 3 weaknesses to any specific type. So as you see here, I only have 3 bug weaknesses. I only have 2 dark weaknesses, 1 dragon weakness, 1 electric, 3 fighting. You go down there. I don't have more than 3 in any specific one. And you may think, oh, that's nothing. That's who cares about that? Well, that's important, because when you're bringing teams, you have to bring a very diversified moveset against me. Whereas if I'm seeing someone who has 4, who has 5, who has 6, who has 8 weaknesses in a specific type, well, you better believe I'm bringing that type almost every week. Looking at my resistances, I have 66 total resistances and immunities. 10 immunities, that's huge, first of all, but 66. Only 1 team has more resist/immunities than I do, and they only have 67. So, once again, very defensive team, and that's pretty good. Now, you've heard me mention my 3 Z-move users in Swampert, Melioda, and Hydreigon. And you may ask yourselves, well, why? With these 3, I can cover every single offensive Z-move there is. Just let that sink in. I can cover every single offensive Z-move there is. That means I can hit all 17 types that can hit something super effectively. Now, that may not seem like much, but that means that I have a lot more variety when I'm building. Now, again, like I said, I'm not going to give away all my secrets. You're going to have to tune in to see how I handle these weaknesses, because like I said, I know I have some weaknesses. Mainly, my weaknesses are I don't have a defogger. Not the worst thing in the world, but not great. I don't have a Defiant Mon, so I can be defogged pretty easily. As well as my speed, well, it's just abysmal. If it is the draft isn't 100% done, I don't think, at the time of this recording. But if, I'm pretty sure that I have the lowest speed. It'd be very difficult to get a lower speed than I have, so. Anyway, guys, I've been Vampire218, and I really hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys, hopefully, when you're watching my league, and hopefully cheering me on, guys. So, please cheer on this Ontario Omastars. They are the ones you want to win, and I will see you guys in week 1. Bye!